an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. There is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. There is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve.
Good morning, Bitcoin. Today is Friday, June 19th, 2020. My name is Thomas Hunt, and this is the World Crypto Network. The price of Bitcoin was down 0.65% in the last 24 hours, with a last of 9,365, a high of 9,444, and a low of 9,237. That's $1 for 10,677 Satoshis. Volume was about normal for a weekday, with 2,624 Bitcoins changing hands. The market continues to lean margin long, with 80% of the market heading that direction. Bitcoin dominance was at 65.8%. And now our top story today. Today is Juneteenth. That's right, it's the 19th of June, 2020. On June 19th, 1865, over 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, General Order No. 3 was read in Galveston, Texas. The people of Texas are informed that, in accordance with a proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. But what does that really mean? Let's check out the Wikipedia to learn more about Juneteenth. Juneteenth, a portmanteau of June and 19th. I love that because it's a portmanteau, and as you know, portmanteau is a portmanteau. It's a word that combines parts of multiple words together, such as motel for motor hotel, or smog, combining smoke and fog. I love portmanteaus, which is a French word meaning coat rack, and it itself is a portmanteau. Anyway, Juneteenth, the portmanteau, is known as Freedom Day, Jubilee Day, and Liberation Day. Started out as a Texas state holiday, but is now celebrated annually. What happened was Texas was pretty far from the front, and although the Emancipation Proclamation had formally freed the slaves almost 2.5 years earlier, and the Civil War had ended, Texas was so remote that enforcement of the proclamation had been slow and inconsistent. A common misconception is that this day marks the end of slavery in the United States. Although this day marks the emancipation of all slaves in the Confederacy, the institution of slavery was still legal and existed in Union border states until June 19, 1865. Slavery in the United States did not officially end until the ratification of the 13th Amendment on December 6, 1865, which abolished non-penal slavery entirely in all of the U.S. states and territories. Like we dodged a bullet there. Too bad we didn't abolish slavery for prisoners as well. Missed it there. Celebrations range since 1866, at first involving church-centered community gatherings in Texas. It spread across the South and became more commercialized in the 1920s and 30s, offerings centering on a food festival. During the Civil Rights Movement, it was eclipsed by the struggle for post-war civil rights, but grew in popularity again in the 1970s with a focus on African American freedom and arts. By the 21st century, Juneteenth was celebrated in most major cities across the United States. Activists are campaigning for the United States Congress to recognize Juneteenth as a national holiday. Juneteenth is recognized as a state holiday or special day of observance in 49 of the 50 states. So that's pretty cool. I think I can remember last year's Juneteenth. The main thing I tried to remember was, let's celebrate this again next year. This is a great day. So check it out, Juneteenth. Have a good one. Chinese officials say Bitcoin doesn't make the top 10 cryptocurrencies. Obviously, we love this. Bitcoin ranked 12. Thanks so much, China, for the advertising. We know you love us. It's one of those love-hate things. They don't want to mention Bitcoin because they're afraid of it. And now more Bitcoin news. Market wrap. Bitcoin quiet at 9.3 thousand, while DeFi gets loud. Things aren't moving enough for Coinbase. We need more action in Bitcoin. The price is flat for far too long. Bitcoin hodlers bought Bitcoin 90% of 2020 as halving spawns new whales. Whale numbers have gone up 2% since the halving, while hodlers have added 233,000 Bitcoin to their positions since the year began. Lucky hodlers. This Elon Musk story continues to go around, with ZDNet now claiming that the scammers were genius because they used a vanity Bitcoin address. If only we had thought of this. Elon Musk Bitcoin vanity address used to scam users out of $2 million. Well, Bitcoin giveaway scams may have been around for more than 2 years. Longer than that, new trick helps scammers net massive profit. And it's not new at all, but if you create a Bitcoin vanity address, which you can do with certain programs from the command line, it'll take a while. Your computer will grind, and then you'll get an address such as one Musk ... or one Elon Musk, something like that. But apparently they're using these addresses now, which is making their scams seem more real. So obviously don't fall for these scams. Don't give your money to SpaceX on Twitter or on YouTube, any of these things. Anyone promising to give you double your money back or more, it's a lie, just on its face. Also, watch out for these scams in the comments down below. I pretty much mark them as spam every day, but they come back every day. You'll see one post where it says email someone or contact someone on Telegram. They're always claiming to be great hackers or great traders. They're actually great scammers. And what's great about these scam posts is they usually have 7 or 8 comments saying, "Me too, I made money with Joey. Joey made me so much money." And I don't understand why Google can't capture these and remove them. We get them every day from different accounts. I keep marking them. So please don't send any money to Joey. Don't trade with someone on Telegram or send them money through email. Hold on to your own funds. Get a hardware wallet. Keep it offline. And don't enter your keys randomly just because your plugin says so. Less than 20% of the current Bitcoin supply is used for trading. That means that hodling is really popular and that a lot of people are already seeing Bitcoin as a long-term investment, a digital gold. This is good for everybody. Bitcoin price target set at 5 times the previous high. That's 5 times 20,000. Let's see. Oh, that's $100,000 a Bitcoin. So I think it's a good idea to get some. I've said that for years. Analysts say Bitcoin breakout imminent. Silver-like suppression. $5 trillion in cash could flow into Bitcoin. So keep your eye on that. Coming soon. Bitcoin price at a pivotal point. Crypto traders divided over Bitcoin's short-term future. But what about the long term? The price of Bitcoin is down 0.56% in the last 24 hours, with a last of 9,373, a high of 9,444, and a low of 9,237. That's $1 for 10,668 Satoshis. Volume was normal for a weekday with 2,637 Bitcoins changing hands. The market continues to lean long, with 80% heading that direction. Bitcoin dominance was at 65.8%. Check out the World Crypto Network store at worldcryptonetwork.store. You can get the Treasures Don't Float t-shirt or the Bitcoin Not Bombs 2020 Bitcoin Halving Edition, brand new design by Davi Barker at worldcryptonetwork.store. And also check out the World Crypto Network podcast on wherever podcasts are listened to. Podcasts on the worldcryptonetwork.com. We've got a poll out right now. Should blockchain adopt SegWit and offer lower fees for their 50 million Bitcoin wallets? So far, the poll is overwhelmingly yes at 85% to 14%. But I just don't know if we're getting enough votes. You still have 2 hours left to vote on this poll. It's pinned to the top of the page at Mad Bitcoins on Twitter. Check out the poll. I think that Nick Carey says that blockchain.info considered adding SegWit and the Lightning Network, but that they just weren't sure yet because it wasn't a number one feature. They got a lot of requests from the altcoins to be added, and apparently they judge features and decide on them based upon how popular they are, not whether or not it would save their users tons and tons of money. So please vote in this poll. Help me convince blockchain.info. We still have 163 votes in the poll, up to 85% yes. So check out the poll at Mad Bitcoins on Twitter. And now, more news. Yes, I know. Buzz says, who cares about 30% to 40% lower fees? Clearly nobody. And blockchain is only interested in saving their users money if it wins a poll. So please vote in the poll. Psychedelic El Barto wonders that perhaps blockchain won't implement SegWit because Roger Ver told them not to. There's no good reason why blockchain.info, allegedly a Bitcoin wallet company, shouldn't implement segregated witness, SegWit. Donald Trump said that the Supreme Court decisions that he didn't like were like shotgun blast to the face. It's a strange way to describe things in the world of police shootings and other random murders out in the world. Very strange way to describe things. Dr. Fauci said personally he wouldn't go to the rally. The Tulsa rally is coming up tomorrow. The one where you had to sign the waiver, you're going to do a temperature check and a hand sanitizer. Everyone's going to wear a mask, everyone but the president. So if it's the president's chance to be a super spreader. It's an indoor event. All of the concerts and other events have been canceled for months. But they're going to go ahead with the political rally, all-important political rally. They could hold it outside, which has been shown to be much safer. The protesters with the masks on outside, much safer than the conservatives with the masks on inside. It's better to be outside. Gorsuch, who rankled Trump by writing the majority opinion upholding LGBT rights, was nominated to the court by Trump. Seems so long ago. The Capitol, Roy Blunt, is blocking a bill to remove Confederate statues from the Capitol, saying it would be unfair to the South to remove their heroes who fought against the country that we live in. That doesn't make any sense. And it's just another day in America, the emperor marching about with no clothes. Everyone can see it. Here's a Florida man. It had to be the Orlando Sentinel. He's got a machete tattoo on his face, and he was accused of a machete attack. Man with machete tattoo on face, accused of machete attack. Lin-Manuel Miranda, author of the Hamilton musical. I love this right here. He says, you just can't control someone who borrows your song title to cash a book for a cash-in book when they could have testified before Congress. Yes, it's funny. Bolton is using the title from the musical Hamilton, one of the songs, The Room Where It Happened. So funny to see that happen to Lin-Manuel Miranda. Trump is requesting that the courts operate from Republican ideology and not from the Constitution. This is not how it's supposed to be. You can have all the ideology you want, but you have to operate from the Constitution. Your ideology has to base in legal fact and reality. 50% of the Atlanta Police Department not showing up last night because of blue flu may be the most powerful argument for abolishing police departments ever given. Other departments can render services and keep us safe as we shift resources and consciousness all at once. 50%. And that's the end of our live podcast. We're no longer live podcasting on Spreaker. Apparently, we could buy a larger plan from Spreaker. So if you like the live audio podcast and you don't want to listen on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, or any of the other platforms, you guys could donate, and then I'll pay Spreaker more money if that's a thing we must have. Meanwhile, at Fox News Channel, they sent a memo reminding all staffers who come to the office to follow CDC guidelines on masks. They'd like to remind all employees to don a face covering in Fox News Media shared spaces, particularly when you're at a not social distance workstation. So internally, Fox News is telling everyone to wear masks. Externally, who knows? Exactly a month ago, the House passed the HEROES Act, critical for fighting COVID. It had a stimulus in it and other things. Mitch McConnell won't even bring it to the floor of the Senate. Once again, this is a broken government. The leader of the Senate will not bring any bills from the House into the Senate, so no bills are being passed, and the president has nothing to sign. It's like that 70s thing where a bill becomes a law, except it never gets into the Senate. Oh, I won again at Tetris. Mess with the best, die like the rest. I played 99 people in Tetris, and I beat them all. Do you know that police officers don't even make it into the top 10 of most dangerous jobs in America? Huh. Everything you've been culturally told about this profession is wrong. And they've got a thread of the top dangerous jobs. I'll bet it's a bunch of horrible things like tightrope walking and dangerous repairs and so on and so forth. California just required face masks to be worn in public spaces. Gavin Newsom says, together we can slow the spread of coronavirus. Do your part, wear a mask. California, and I'm being told Oregon as well, have both mandatory face coverings in public. Look for this to spread across the United States. But not as fast as coronavirus. And let's see. There's more things. There's trouble in Louisville, Kentucky. A guy records half a dozen cops dogpiling a protester, and then one of the cops shoots at the window to stop him from recording. So it just keeps happening. It just keeps happening. San Francisco has the highest commercial sublease availability in the country, with 30% of available space being listed by tenants. Volume of tenants in search of commercial space is down 56%. People just don't want offices anymore, and they really don't want them in San Francisco. Check out the Oura Smart Ring. This is the second time we've talked about this device in the last couple of days, so it must be important. NBA players will wear a smart ring at Disney World. The Oura Smart Ring, they say it's capable of predicting COVID-19 symptoms up to 3 days in advance with 90% accuracy. The ring can measure body temperature, respiratory functions, and heart rate. And I know you're saying, wow, what a perfect product. What a great time to release the one ring to rule them all. But this is actually just a health tracker that's been out for a while. And one of its features, because you're wearing it on as a ring on your skin, is that it could tell your temperature. That temperature feature, in addition to other health tracker type features such as heart rate, respiratory functions, has been transitioned, and they've repackaged the device as a COVID predictor. This is very, very clever by the Oura Smart Ring people. The previous time I saw this story, they were saying a casino was going to do a test of this on their workers. So the workers would all be forced to wear the one ring so that the management could tell if they're healthy or not. They're going to do the same thing to the NBA. So it's a little creepy and so on and so forth. But it just keeps coming up, and it's an interesting use of health tracker technology. I mean, I'm sure the new version of the Apple iWatch will have these same features. They'll adopt them right over. A top State Department official has resigned in protest of Trump's response to racial tensions. Let's see. Mary Elizabeth Taylor, Assistant Secretary for the State of Legislative Affairs, has resigned. I think they were saying on the news she was the highest-ranking African-American woman in the Trump administration. The president was on his phone at a formal event. A few minutes later, a tweet was released. People were talking about their small businesses and how they'd lost their jobs and their livelihoods because of the coronavirus. They were making speeches. The president was supposed to be listening, but he's on his phone. I mean, you think it's a parody, but you just can't make this up. It's true. An unredacted of the version of the Bolton book reveals what Trump told President Xi last year when Trump was asked China to help his campaign. Make sure I win. Buy a lot of soybeans and wheat and make sure we win. The Trump administration has also been banned from Facebook advertising after running, well, they haven't been banned, but they removed these advertisements. Facebook first allowed them to run 88 advertisements with an inverted red triangle and infamous Nazi symbol. So we can't stop bringing it up because they just keep making us. So it's like running a swastika. It was an Indian symbol of peace. Come on, it's just a triangle. It's just a triangle of hate. Check out Tallycoin and Reward Portal. Reward Portal just sent a nice big donation to Tallycoin. Tallycoin is fundraising to raise the amount of money for their servers. Tallycoin at tallyco.in is a free fundraising website that you can use. All you need is a Bitcoin address. Tallycoin can't take any of your funds. So check out Tallycoin at tallyco.in. And donate now to help Tallycoin pay for their server costs. They need $360. So far, they've raised about $60. There's 16% to their goal. You can see the new pie chart, how much is unclaimed, how much they still need to get. Look, a lot of it came from Lightning. They had 9% from Lightning, 6% from on-chain. And you can donate now. They also have this button that says Pay NIM. And if you click it, it brings up a Pay NIM. So you can do that too. Check it out at Tallycoin, tallyco.in. Checking out the poll. Still 165 people have voted. Crypto Thane has voted, though, and told us about it. Shout out. Let's keep going. More news. Trump's on his phone while small businesses share their pandemic stories. Ouch. Aaron Rupar says, he's not even trying to pretend at this point. We've never seen this before. It really does have kind of a, he's not a lame duck, but it has a lame duck feeling, or like a school feeling. I guess it's the end of the school year. The president's harkened back to his school days. And you know how the last couple weeks, you're just waiting for it to end. So much so that you would just use your phone during a meeting. Ugh, it's really obvious. And then I won again. Back-to-back championships. Do you know how rare this is? The kind of Tetris skill one has to have to win back-to-back consecutive games. I mean, it's Joe DiMaggio, right? Consecutive game streak. Secretary Pompeo has issued a formal statement that reads like a child's email. He's upset about John Bolton's book, calling him a liar and a traitor. He says, I was in the room too. It sounds really stupid. A reminder, the New York police tried punishing New York City with a work slowdown after their reaction to the New York police murdering Eric Garner, as well as their beef with de Blasio. The result was a reduction in major crime complaints and a better life for New Yorkers. So be careful. Sometimes those slowdowns turn out good. The president tweeted a fake video with a fake CNN chyron on it with a misspelling. That's toddler, not toddler. So it's a really fake video. It's really obviously fake. And then after that, Twitter marked it as manipulated media. So we're starting to get to the point where you post Orwellian propaganda and they mark it as Orwellian propaganda, but they still serve it out to people. It's not a good look, Twitter. Aaron Rupar says, imagine living through the last month in America, then turning around and trying to turn racism into a punchline. You'd cringe if your drunk uncle posted this, let alone the president. And the video shows two clips from a popular video from last year. I'm sure we all remember the video from last year. They've recut the two clips out of order in a deceptive fashion to try to make it seem like one baby was afraid of the other baby, when in reality, some of us with memories still intact remember this great video from last year when we all enjoyed two babies, one white, one black, both best friends, hugging each other, so excited to see each other. Such a positive video, to take that and turn it into this negative video. It's just dark. I mean, it's just like taking videos of puppies and kitties and, putting a gun to their head and being like, this is really creative and negative. And it's just, I don't know, it's really dark. Don't worry about America. Check out the latest COVID numbers. Look at Texas, up and to the right. Looks like a U-shaped, straight up. Florida, almost diagonally straight up. North Carolina just continuing to climb. And Arizona just climbing out of control. So these are the kind of numbers you want to see from your stocks, not from your COVID-19 stocks. Got to take better care of your livestock. Come on. Check out this mall. I think it's in Chicago. It was approved for a $250 million expansion. Looks absolutely beautiful, but it's also absolutely empty. No one's shopping. No one's going back. No one wants to be in these enclosed spaces anymore. Doesn't look good for retail. AMC Movies is reopening their movie theaters, but get this. They don't want to require masks upon reopening because they didn't want to be drawn into political controversy. So basically, no one can go to movies except people on hashtag Team Virus. If you want to spread the virus, you go to a movie. Can you imagine being in a box with other people and they're not required to wear masks? So they're just coughing and breathing and sneezing out into the air, and it's just passing over the whole theater like a wave. There's nothing political about this. It's scientific. If you want to reopen theaters, which is crazy enough anyway, it's hard enough to do any normal things right now, but let alone going to a movie theater to risk your life to see Trolls 3 or whatever it is. Not a good idea. So yes, they think it's not political, but it's so against science. It's terrible. We support Juneteenth becoming a national holiday, and we talked about it today. Check it out at the beginning of this show if you didn't catch it. We did a really great little piece on Juneteenth. We talked about the Wikipedia definition and all about it. It was really cool. Still 6 hours left to vote in the poll, maybe 2 or 3 hours. It was pretty wild yesterday when the CBS News reporter holding a copy of the book in her hand questioned the president's press secretaries about passages in the book on the White House lawn. They were saying the book should be blocked while the reporter was holding the book in their hands. The reporter was asking what parts of the book are classified, as if so she could just flip right to them because she has the book right there. I've been looking on all the websites. An EPUB version of this book hasn't leaked yet. I don't know why. I've wanted it for a long time. We'll see if they release it on Tuesday. Another successful fundraiser on Tallycoin, the Bitcoin fundraising website where you bring an address and you get the money. These guys wanted to raise money to get a Bitcoin banner flown over the Jersey Shore on Independence Day 2020, and they did it with Tallycoin. Check out that banner. It's going to say, "Want liberty? Buy Bitcoin." And they're going to buy it from a plane. They're going to fly it from a plane. Sorry. You wouldn't think it's possible, but it's possible thanks to Tallycoin. Great job, Hodlberry. He says, you are the Bitcoin marketing team. And I agree with him. Who has the money to do this? Who has the money to buy a plane? I don't. But if you guys want to donate the money to this guy and he sets it up and he buys the plane, and of course now the part we really want is the exciting video and the footage and the still images. You really got to capture this thing. But it's coming up, Independence Day 2020 at the Jersey Shore. I don't know how long it is, 20 minutes, whatever it is. I'm sure they time these things. But want liberty? Buy Bitcoin. Very cool. Great job, guys. Great use of Tallycoin. Check it out. Gavin Andreessen proposing to scale Bitcoin with Ethereum reminded me of Vitalik Buterin proposing to scale Ethereum with Bcash. What a weird, tangled, overt, immoral scammer web they weave. Indeed. A lot of Ethereum people don't know their history, and they should go back and check it out. There's been a lot of changes. There's a strange story in the media right now about Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz. During an interview, Congressman Gaetz randomly pulls out a man he claims to be his son. I guess the boy is about 15 or so or something, but he says, yes, I have experience raising, gosh, how did he say it? He didn't say colored, but I have experience of raising multiracial children, so on and so forth. And that Mr. Gaetz was opposed. He was offended that people didn't know this about him, even though he'd kept it a secret for the last year. But he's been keeping this a secret for a long time. He apparently has a Latino son that he hasn't adopted. He's from Cuba. So just to be clear, Mark Harris is going to explain it all to us. What's being mocked today? A single man adopting or fostering an older kid. That's excellent. That's a good thing. Nothing wrong with that. Keeping it secret for 7 years. That's weird. Yeah, that's pretty weird. Calling him your helper or a local student because they've been spotted before. He goes to all the campaign events. He said the guy was a door knocker for him. He's really been active in the campaign. That's a little creepy. And then revealing his existence only when it's politically convenient. That's contemptible. It wasn't like, and it wasn't like he was fighting in favor of something. It's not like he was fighting against DACA or that he was fighting against the camps on the borders. He was saying, hey, you can't treat immigrants like that. I know an immigrant. I have an immigrant right here in my family. That would have been at least positive. He did it so that he could tear down the laws. He could tear down things. And it's a very strange story. You guys can go watch it. It was on Hannity or something. Turns out the police have been walking out in Atlanta. There's supposed to be mass chaos. Turns out the only thing getting destroyed in Atlanta is the Confederacy again. And they're taking down this racist Lost Cause monument in Decatur, Georgia. Looks like an obelisk. They're lifting it up by crane, and they're going to take it down. Hopefully someday put it in a museum. Not on public lands. In the 4th year of Trump's presidency, ESPN was reduced to hyping Korean baseball because American sports aren't a thing. Yes, that does suck. We talked about this yesterday. Casino regulators are tightening mask rules, but it's still confusing. And as you know, a confusing rule is a hard to follow one, and it generally turns out to be an ineffective rule. The simple thing to do is require masks. It's an indoor space. You should be wearing a mask. That's it. California already required masks. Oregon required masks. The governor of Nevada said he didn't want to require masks because he was worried about a rebellion. Well, I'd be worried about all the dead people and the never-ending spread of coronavirus. I'd be worried that you become known as a super spreader, a place that people go to get sick. These people won't be back. You don't need a high standard of proof to mandate masks because mandating masks doesn't have high costs to society. There you go. Where are all the critics who are recently pointing to Florida as doing just fine? Multiple Florida hospitals have run out of ICU beds as coronavirus cases spike. This is predictable. They reopened early. They were nonchalant about masks and social distancing. And now they're just getting sick. The United States is the world's only advanced industrial democracy where mask wearing has become a political issue. That says more about the U.S. than it does about wearing a mask. Sad farewell today. Ian Holm, the great actor who played Bilbo Baggins in the Lord of the Rings movies and the Hobbit films, has passed away. He was also in Alien and just dozens and dozens of movies. A great actor, Ian Holm. The world has 6 months to avert the climate crisis. So that's not going to happen. New Bob Dylan album, though. That's good. He's been leaking the singles for a while, so it's glad to see this. It's called Rough and Rowdy Ways. First album of original songs in 8 years from Bob Dylan. Check it out. If you're pissed about wearing a mask, wait till you hear about seat belts. This is especially funny to me because a lot of people in the chat don't like that people are required to wear seat belts. They should just let them die in car accidents. Just let them die. Oklahoma has the fastest growing cases per capita of any state in the nation. For the sake of public health, Trump's campaign really needs to cancel his rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma this weekend. But they're not going to. I remember watching in shock as Italy dealt with COVID. Now the United States has 4 times as many deaths as Italy, and it's been completely normalized. 120,000 dead in America, and people don't even blink. And here's some more of those people right here in good old Las Vegas. A nearby suburb called Henderson had a response for Big Texas Barbecue in Henderson. Now, this is a great event. This is a fundraiser to raise money for a police officer who's been shot and who's paralyzed. That's a beautiful thing to do, right? We're not attacking the goal of this event. That's a great goal. But let's look at the reality. What really happened? Did anybody wear a mask? Okay, well, this guy right here. Shout out. Respect to this guy. But he's an old guy, so he's probably hoping that you're wearing a mask to protect him from getting sick. Really, he's just protecting other people. But if we go to the inside shot, nobody's wearing a mask. They're all eating inside. They're all shoulder to shoulder. Even the police officers here setting a bad example for the whole community. No one wearing masks. Hashtag Team Virus. Spread that virus. Let's kill some more humans. I don't understand it, but it just keeps happening. Jim Cramer, a pretty right-wing guy, stock market guy, Mad Money. He says, this is horrendous. Many people will get sick because of this foolish stance. And this lady went to the pharmacy and no one but her was wearing a mask. And it's crazy out there. It's just crazy. I don't know why this is happening. The stock market guy knows. Many people will get sick because of this foolish stance. Meanwhile, American Airlines is banning the passenger who was kicked off a flight after refusing to wear a face covering, as airlines step up enforcement of mandatory mask requirements. It's about damn time. Remember that even worse than being in a small casino or a movie theater would be a very small airplane, all breathing each other's air back and forth. Wearing masks in that environment has to be mandatory, and it's amazing it took so long for this to happen. Australia, a close U.S. treaty ally, says it's under a massive cyber attack by a foreign state actor. China. Anyway, we're just allowing that to happen. We're not going to defend Australia at all. John Favreau, speechwriter to Obama, says, this actually says quite a bit about what Trump and the Republican Party have done to America. The fact that AMC Theater CEO has made the complete wrong decision and won't be requiring masks in their theaters, causing everyone to have complete doubts about going to the movies ever again. And it's not just AMC. The other 2 cinema chains have also not required masks. People are calling for a boycott of AMC. People are canceling their accounts online, taking pictures. As I said, Cinemark and Regal Theaters are watching AMC take the heat for the mask policy, but really they have the same policy. So Still a chance one of them could jump out ahead, be the consumer leader, say, hey, we're requiring masks, we're giving them out at the door, we're doing the hand sanitizer, the temperature thing. You got to do that. Otherwise, no one's going to go to the movies at all. And you're already looking at a maybe 30% return from an already unpopular activity. Why do you not want to go to the movies? Let's look at science right here. How do the particles spread? This looks like it could be an airplane, but it could be a movie as well. You can see right there. Oh, zoom back out. Here we go. Full screen. So there you go. That's one sick person in the middle of the movie theater or airplane, coughing, coughing, coughing. That's how far the particles could infect all the people around them. So, yes, no one wants to go to a movie theater for sick people. No, that's not where we want to go. Articles are being written. They're drawing a backlash. It's only a matter of time before they change their minds on this. But still, it should have been easy to get it right the first time, right? It's really simple. You want to reopen early. You want to get that sweet early money. Maybe pay 30% of your rent. You got to have masks. And shout out to Juneteenth. On June 19th, 1865, over 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, General Order No. 3 was read in Galveston, Texas. The people of Texas are informed that, in accordance with a proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. Happy Juneteenth. They're going to have to make that more catchy if they want to turn this into a real holiday. That's going to need some work. Imagine being so full of ignorance that you willingly pack yourself into a building during a health pandemic with complete strangers while no social distancing and health precautions are being taken. And they require you to agree not to sue the cult when you get sick. That was really the best part of this, is they went for the legal liability waiver. You know, they didn't want to do that. They wanted to say, hey, our rally is safe. Come on out. It's going to be great. We're rallying for the president, so on and so forth. But that liability waiver, that just has to give you, pause, right? No matter who you are, you're like, they're covering their ass. This must be really bad. This must be kind of risky. Like, normally you don't have to sign that, but you have to if you want to go to a Trump rally. Or they could just hold it outside. Check it out. The Moundsville Police Department is adding this big bad boy to the fleet. It's a heavily armored vehicle, looks very friendly. Lots of little boxes where you can look out and see the people you're killing. It's a great thing for a police department to have. This just keeps happening. A European scientist says that it feels like the United States has just given up and is going to let the coronavirus spread. This is a shocking story and looks horribly true. We can see the European Union cases have declined, had a little bump again, went back down. There's only 4,000 cases on average, 7-day rolling average of coronavirus cases in the EU. There are 23,000 cases in the United States, a magnitude of more than 7, greater than 7 times the cases in the United States. Unbelievable. Just giving up. The president appears to be threatening harm against peaceful protesters. These tweets continue to be out of hand. I don't know why Twitter won't ban him. I don't know why his aides won't take his account away. Just change the password to something else and forget the password. That would do it. Oh, we're making it near the top of the news. It's a town of 9,000 that's getting the armored vehicle. They last had a murder in 2011. Before that, 2005. So they're going to need this thing. It's like that machine gun that you need for hunting. They need this for fishing. You just can't catch fish without a big armored vehicle like this. Oh, well. And I asked Roast Beef on Twitter if the Lightning Network is out of beta. It feels to me like it's at least an alpha. And also, there's not a lot of options here. Maybe we should have started lower. But can we say it's out of beta for marketing's sake? It really does seem like the Lightning Network works pretty good. You can send money around. It's not reckless anymore. Seems like we could take it out of beta, and then we'll just start teaching everyone how to use it. We'll just start doing shows about the Lightning Network just as soon as it's ready. I'm sure it's pretty close. This is a pretty cool story in New York City. There's a website called Stoopers, and Stoopers likes to go around and track the trash or donations or whatever happens out on the street. New couch, find it on Stoopers. And I guess people show up within a few hours and pick up this stuff just like that when it's good stuff. And it turns out there were a bunch of artwork left out on the streets, and everyone wondered why. They contacted the artist, and he unfortunately had to leave his apartment. It was too expensive, and he had to leave a bunch of his artwork behind. The landlord said anything left behind would be taken for trash, which made the artist very sad. So he's quite happy to learn that the trash, it was put out next to the trash, and that people found it, took it home, found out who he was, and even tried to pay him a little bit of money to help support his art. So pretty cool story out of New York in the New York Post. Still a chance to vote and to share this vote for should blockchain adopt SegWit and offer lower fees for their 50 million Bitcoin wallets. 86% of people now say yes, they should. 168 people have voted. Still a chance to vote at Mad Bitcoins on Twitter. Check it out. I think we're heading towards the end of the show today. I just wanted to remind everyone of this fantastic Jay-Z lyric for the end of the show. You want to know what's more important than throwing away money at a strip club? Credit. You ever wonder why some people own all the property in America? This is how they did it. Financial freedom, my only hope. Fuck living rich and dying broke. I bought some artwork for $1 million. 2 years later, that shit worth $2 million. Few years later, that shit worth $8 million. I can't wait to give this shit to my children. Y'all think it's boozy. I'm like, it's fine. But I'm trying to give you $1 million worth of game for $9.99. Turn that 2 to a 4, 4 to an 8. I turned my life into a nice first week release date. Y'all still out here taking advances, huh? Me and my friends are taking real chances. Y'all on the gram holding money to your ear? There's a disconnect. We don't even call that money over here. Great song. The Story of OJ. Check it out. A Jay-Z song for Juneteenth. And I hope you'll have a happy Juneteenth. Checking out the price of Bitcoin one more time before we end the show. Be sure to give us a thumbs up and a share. Subscribe down below. Hit the bell for notifications. And if you don't click the email they send to you every day, they'll stop sending you the email. YouTube notifications are not what you think they are. And now the price of Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin is down 0.72% in the last 24 hours, with a last of 9,345, a high of 9,444, and a low of 9,237. That's $1 for 10,701 Satoshis. Volume was normal for a weekday, with 2,642 Bitcoins changing hands. The market continues to lean long, with 80% heading that direction. Bitcoin dominance was at 65.79%. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll be back later today with the Bitcoin group at a special time, 12 noon West Coast time. That's just a few hours from now, about 2 hours and 40 minutes from right now. We'll be back with the Bitcoin group, which I have to go write and find stories for right now. So thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for giving us a thumbs up and a share. Be sure to check out the amazing new t-shirts and such. We have links down below the video, thanks to Teespring. And I hope my t-shirt arrives soon. I ordered one too, so we'll see. Thanks so much for joining us. Until next time, bye-bye.